guys, another game of Infinity for Operation Flamestrike. It is Yu Ching with Imperial Service, same list as last battle report, against the Nomads, who you've seen in my battle reports before. This is the Corregidor sectorial, and if you check out the game table we're playing on, it's Rob's table. He spends a lot of time making terrain. When I first showed up at his house to play the game, I looked at the board and I thought, wow, there's a lot of very large fire lanes there, and it's really going to be a bit of a shootout, especially with that building block in one corner. Rob said that his house rule for playing the area terrain, the trees, the forests, is that they actually block line of sight completely from shooting through the forest from one side to another. But if you are standing in the forest, you can be seen there and can shoot out of it just with the visibility impairment, so -6 to hit unless you've got an MSV 2 or 1. And then also it's a saturation zone, so you're -1 burst shooting through the forest also. So if you look at the terrain again, it's actually not quite that bad. It's still not great layout, but you can basically treat those clumps of trees as complete infinite height obstructions, which does give you a little bit of protection against the building block in one corner. Where are we? Let's just go to another photo here. So this is the left-hand side of the battlefield where I'm deploying. I'm deploying first. I'm taking first turn, and you've got the link team with Celestial Guard, followed up by some Guangxi. I've finally painted up my Rui Shui, and there's Robert over the other side with the Zond in the center with the two bug bots, the crazy koalas. Next image shows you his side of the table. Here he's got a transconductor and an HVT down the bottom right, a link team featuring Senior Massacre, backed up by a couple of Jaguars, I think, just a three-man link. We've got the Mobile Brigada in suppression fire. He's using one of the YAMS cards for that. By the way, guys, this is YAMS, of course. You can see the acrylic consoles in the center of the table as well. Open information objectives for this one is capture the flag and capture the HVT, so pretty straightforward ones that we're both going for. If you actually look at the top left of the photo, there's a Sujian standing next to the crate there in combat form, so he'll be looking to press up. I've actually got a strategy card to play this mission, which moves him up 4 inches from deployment without creating any arrows that'll allow him to get into the cover of the forest. Next image again, you can see a bit of a background view of his deployment. He's got a few alguacils in the cover of the building there, with a Moran represented by a Reverend Healer and a couple of spider bots. And then also at the bottom of the photo, there's a silhouette marker with a guy standing on top of the building, obviously an intruder sniper. And there's the thing that looks like a little piece of radio equipment there in the center is the flag, that little black base, circular base thing with the metal attachment to it. Next image, you can see me taking the first turn here with the Sujian in combat form, just carefully slicing his way around the forest, shooting away at the troops there. He guns down the Moran. He kills the bot with the crazy koalas as well, so no crazy koalas running towards me. He just can't get too far around the forest, otherwise the Mobile Brigada will draw line of sight to him. Next image, you can see here a bit of a better position for him. As I mentioned, just taking out the bot in the far distance there. We'll go to another image where he's actually moving into the forest at this point, still avoiding line of sight to the Brigada and the intruder, and this time he's shooting the transconductors on behind the forest. And also, if you look at that little ruined building in the center of the photo with the long orange sheet of peppered wall, there's actually a couple of guys that could be seen through the windows, which I'm shooting at, but they managed to survive, pass their guts checks, fail the guts checks, and move into cover and go prone. So total kill count for the Sujian, I think, was 3 models, plus maybe a crazy koala, and I think one of the alguacils in the center there, but that's all he managed to achieve. Going to the next image, we've got the Pheasant. As we know, that's actually a Canren forward observer in Holy Projector 1 mode, moving up, and of course the Guangxi at the back. Decided just to spend orders, just putting them back to the way they were after they moved up. Next image, yeah, just a bit of a look at where we got to in the end. The Sujian is in suppression fire mode, and yeah, the Moran's down. We've got a couple of alguacils left in the middle who are prone. Link team are fine, they haven't been shot at this point. Going to another image, what's happened here? We've got the intruder who's revealing himself to move across the top of the building to get to line of sight to be able to shoot the Sujian, who obviously can return fire, but we are treating the forest as a saturation zone and a low-vis zone, so -6 for shooting unless you've got MSV like the intruder does, and also -1 burst, so quite difficult for me to fend that one off. Next image, we've got the Link team moving out now. By the way, the Sujian eventually was killed, although it took a lot of orders for the intruder to take him down due to the high armor and the many wounds. But the Link team now moving out. There are 2 Jaguars, and there's one model there with a green coat and a knife representing Senior Massacre. I believe he's the guy at the end of the tape measure there. Going to the next image here, you can see in a bit more clarity. So that's Senor Massacre and his friends with the red hat and the orange bandana following behind him with the facial hair. So they're looking pretty cool. But yes, he is the Link leader. Just joining one of these crazy koalas who have been separated from the mother bot. Next image again, they've finally entrenched themselves in the middle of the table here, just in the wreckage of the bot and behind some walls, just trying to get enough cover to survive, although they'll be up against my Link team in a moment. Next image, we've also got the Tomcat Doctor dropping down on the side of the battlefield, just so that he can use his following turn to go through and repair the Moran. So interesting choice there, just dropping down the side. Next image, it's time for the Celestial Guard Link team to start moving out, so that's exactly what they do. Just trying to carefully avoid lines of fire. Now, previously the intruder was placed in such a way that he would be able to gain view to them as they moved out, but because the intruder moved to the other side of the rooftop to attack the Sujian, he didn't have enough orders to move back because the Sujian just took too long to kill. So at this point, the Celestial Guard now have an opening to move out and attack. Going to the next image, so as you can see here, they're moving through the ruins here and just spending in order to move around the corner and back again to shoot at the Link team further ahead with the Jaguars. Jaguars try to put down some smoke, but the Link leader with the combi rifle easily enough to gun them down with the Link team bonuses. Next image, we've got a Rui Shui who, again, was kind of pinned down by the intruder, had to stay behind the forest, not able to move through it, otherwise he'd take a sniper rifle shot. But now that the intruder has been relocated, the Rui Shui moves around, just gapping it across the battlefield very quickly. Also helps that I've managed to kill the enemy Link team now, except for Senor Massacre, I believe, who went prone, so that's what things are looking like there. Next image, we've got a line of sight from the Rui Shui through to the third member of the Link team. So I've killed one Jaguar, there's the third member, and Senor Massacre is prone. So Spitfire opens up and kills that one Jaguar, and that's what gets rid of him. So it's only Senor Massacre himself that I have to deal with later on. And next image, moving into the forest here just to get line of sight against the Mobile Brigada with suppression fire, and at this point I'm getting +3 to hit against his negative, well, I'm +3 to hit, -3 to hit from suppression fire, and he is +0 for long range, in fact -3 for long range, and another -6 for the forest. What ends up happening here, though, is that he managed to crit me somehow anyway and win the face-to-face and kill the robot. So a little bit unlucky there, but these things happen. I've been lucky with other roles too, so it balances itself out. But not managing to kill the Mobile Brigada and losing my Rui Shui in the process. Next image, one of the Guangxi, using just a few of the last orders left, moves around to the console, tries to pick it up and manages to fail his willpower check. Even with +3 to willpower, given the strategy card afforded by YAMS here, where you get +3 to all rolls, which is pretty cool, but unlucky that he failed it on a 17. Next image, we've also got the flash pulse bot down the bottom left, just edging along to the side of the crate here, so that if the Tomcat Doctor moves through or past the forest, she might get blinded by the flash pulse, is the plan there. Next image, just a bit of a zoom out overview. You can see where the intruder is. He now needs to move further back around so that he can actually start shooting, and this is what he does at the start of the turn. Moves through and actually fires a sniper rifle long range at the Celestial Guard team, killing at least one of them. Obviously, this point where the camera is situated gives the photo a bit more of a line of fire, but if you go down a little, go down a level, the intruder doesn't quite have as much vision as this particular camera angle does. Next image, Senor Massacre moves up, throws a smoke grenade down to help cover his advance. So if we go to the next image, there's the smoke grenade there, and you can see Senor Massacre holding up the finger behind the wall. So he's easily able to move into close combat, which is exactly what he does. So in the next image, moves around, and there's a smoke grenade here, by the way. So attacking in close combat, he rolls a 1 for the close combat attack. I also roll a 1. It's a standoff. Then he rolls a 20, a crit. I roll a 14, also a crit. And then he runs out of orders. So pretty hilarious time there for Senor Massacre, not getting the job done in that one Celestial Guard. Although, however, to free up my guys here, I'm going to have to shoot in combat, which could be pretty bad. Next image, the Tomcat Doctor does indeed move across the line of the flash pulse, but avoids it and heads over there to repair or to revive the Moran, spinning a command token to do so after failing the first attempt. Next image, okay, Celestial team reforge the link and they activate, and shooting the boarding shotgun into close combat actually kills my own Celestial Guard, but then the follow-up shot manages to kill Senor Massacre pretty easily, but I'm running out of guys at this point because of the sniper and of course this close combat affair here. Next image, one of the Guangxi around the left-hand side is getting ready to go for the objective at the bottom left, but the Celestial Guard, after dealing with Mr. Massacre, have just dropped prone and carefully inched their way around to the central objective to capture it, so hanging on to that one. Next image, I decide to reveal my ninja hacker in hidden deployment to come and attack the Tomcat Doctor. The Moran mine goes off and blows up the ninja, but not before she manages to kill the Tomcat by shooting it, and trying to throw another shot into the Moran, but she passes her armor save. So yeah, just a really one-for-one trade there. Wasn't really worth it, but I was hoping to get more damage done, so there you go. Next image, we've got one of the Guangxi who happily moves up and sprays the Moran with a chain rifle, managing to wipe her out. And then the next image, you've got a bit more of an overview here where really there's a lot of carnage. Just about everybody's died. At the top right, you can see the Guangxi who just killed Moran is just hanging out behind the forest, waiting for a chance to attack the Brigada at this stage. Next image, down the bottom left, we've got another Tomcat appearing in airborne deployment, and she is basically used to nail the second to last Celestial Guard. So does that successfully, but runs out of orders after that. So that's how things are going there, and that's the flag that we're both trying to capture as well. So if he manages to take that one out, then I will probably lose. Going to the next image, okay, we're starting with the Guangxi using his impetuous movement to move around here and shoot chain rifle at the Brigada. Manages to pass his own armor save while the Brigada fails his, so that means a 1 wound down. And then on the next image, Lieutenant orders spent for the Celestial Guard at the back to come around and shoot at the Tomcat, but even though it's my active turn, 3 dice against 1, failed the first face-to-face standoff and then lost the face-to-face roll on the second one and failed my armor save, so extremely unlucky to lose the Lieutenant there. However, next image, Guangxi continuing to move around, shooting at the Mobile Brigada, forcing him to pull back with he chose to fail his guts check just to get out of line of fire there. But if you go to the next image, yep, I've crawled a Celestial Guard around, gone prone, got the suppression fire up, but I forgot to take a photo of the picture where the Guangxi is shooting at one of the alguacils behind the building, killing him, turning out to be the Lieutenant. So I've got on the next photo, this is the last photo, and it's the Tomcat, basically in loss of Lieutenant, trying to go into the flag to capture it, but fails the whip check. So when we turned over the secret objective cards, it turned out that I was getting 2 points for both for clearing both the consoles, and then I got 1 further point for killing a model that was within line of sight of his HVT, so I got 3 total. He got 1 point for, I think, being within 8 inches of the flag at the end of the game right here, plus another 2 for clearing his deployment zone and having no enemy models in his deployment zone. Now, one thing that I find weird about YAMS, and I think this is one of the reasons why people who have tried it after a long period of time have perhaps gone off it, is just that the objectives are randomized, and you don't necessarily have the same objectives as your opponent. So you might get dealt the cards that are very easy to accomplish, whereas your opponent might get dealt the cards that are very difficult to accomplish. So taking hold of consoles in the middle of the table require a lot of orders. They require whip checks. You can fail it. You get into the line of fire and harm's way there, whereas clearing your deployment zone, having no enemy models in your deployment zone, is quite an easy one to achieve. And by having one of your own models in your own deployment zone, by just like not moving it, having a lieutenant there means that you get another point. So it was a bit lopsided, but I still really enjoyed this game. It was a draw by the end of it, but hope you guys had fun. Maybe we'll get back to playing ITS or the mission design that I've been coming up with recently. I'm calling it integrated at the moment, so hopefully we'll show more of that for you soon.